Hi, this is the demonstration for the lead work on the, that way around, this way. So this this black lead work and this green, the green swirls on here. This is how you do it. This is the bias that we have made specially for this purpose. It's folded in the centre, and so you need to blade on your ironing board with the opening upwards. I'm just going to cut a short piece off. You'll probably find that you'll do long pieces after a while, but we'll just do a short piece today. The bias has a sticky tape attached to it, and you'll open it up, and it has a paper side and a gluey tacky side. The gluey tacky side goes down onto the open side of the bias binding. So a little bit of a thumb squeeze to start it off, and I like to iron the end and then we're off. So after that I'm just going to lay that flat and guide it on with my fingers, ironing along as I go. If you're worried about getting a bit of glue on your iron or your ironing board, just use a little bit of greaseproof paper and that'll protect both the iron and your ironing board. But you should be fine. Once you've done a couple, you will be flying. So I'm going to pull that along a bit and unroll a little bit more. That's it. I've got it on a very hot iron, just about as hot as it'll go, or as hot as my fingers can stand on the ironing board anyway. And I'm just going to go along and stop the iron just before the edge of the fabric. Cut that off. Now I'm going to leave that to cool to one side for a minute because it's a bit hot, and also if you try and peel it off too quickly, then the glue won't stick to the fabric. It'll come back off on the paper. So in the meantime I will show you how to attach the fabric, the steam seam to the fabric. So I've got a little piece of green here that I've already done earlier. I will just peel the edge off there. Whoops. Edge of the paper doesn't want to come. That's it. Got it now. There we go. And I've also got some black here as well. So I made some black earlier on as well. So I'll use that one first. So the black one, it's made exactly the same way. And it's really good for going around the edges of bits of coloured fabric. And I'll show you how to stitch it down as well. So I'm just going to do a short line so that you can see how to do it. And I'm going to do a short line of this as well. I'll do this one in a swirly. Oops, the paper doesn't want to come off that end. I obviously haven't left this one long enough. There we go. That's it. So when you've got bias strips, the bias means that it will bend. If you did this with straight strips, it would not bend. It would be very, very stubborn, and you'd end up with puckers in the fabric. So can you see how easily that has just curved around in a swirl? Isn't that great? Right, we're going to stitch this. And when we stitch it, we're going to do it in a pattern of, you can either do it straight down the middle, so straight down the middle of there, or you can do stitch, 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 on, off, stitch, 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 on, off. So a bit like a hemming stitch. So I'll do one with it straight down the middle, and then the other one with on, off. Okay. So we've got sewing machine here. I'm going to use some orange thread so that you can see this. So this one is straight down the middle. Both of these, I mean, if you use the same colour thread, you'd be better off. But both of these work really, really well. If you are going to stitch it straight down the middle, I would suggest lengthening the stitch so that it looks like it's hand stitched. Nice and secure all the way down the middle. Nothing at all wrong with that. And if you're using a black thread, you wouldn't see that at all. So if you're a beginner, then that would be great. I'm also going to use an on-off stitch for this one. So it's a 32 on this one. Okay, so needle in. So stitch, 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 on, off, stitch, 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 on, off. I'll just do a little bit of this and show you, and that will secure it nicely. And obviously you're not going to use an orange thread on a green, well, maybe you are, I don't know. You might want to use an orange and a green thread and have it multicoloured, who am I to say? So I'll just lift that needle up, take that out, and you can see how that is secured. Where is it there? Okay. Brilliant. Okay. Thank you very much. I hope you really enjoy that.